Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Jersey Barrier, where we love highways and we hate New Jersey. My name is Jeremy, and today we're talking about Interstate 16. But first, I want you guys to like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Turn on the notifications. We post every single Tuesday, and sometimes on Friday if we're feeling fun with it. But every single Tuesday, you don't want to miss it, and we appreciate the subs because less than 1% of you guys are actually subscribed. So if more than 1% could subscribe, we would be a lot bigger, and that'd be pretty awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it. I-16 goes from Macon, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. It really just crosses eastern Georgia. It's a pretty short road, and honestly, it's not crazy traveled because there's not much going on. And it's pretty dull as well since it doesn't really go through anywhere. But we'll start in Macon on I-75. We see I-75 is signed north for Atlanta and 16 is signed east for Savannah. That makes plenty of sense. That's what it should be. And we also get our reassurance shield for 16 east. And we'll also see our mile marker 0 on the side and Macon next to exits. So we're kind of still in Macon on 16 here. And we get our first mileage sign. Our first mileage sign being for Jeffersonville and Savannah. And it actually looks kind of cool through here. Just some kind of trees and everything. Like lining the highway. It's pretty cool. But it's basically the same throughout the entire place. So that's not great. But what I would do on these mileage signs is I would throw in some secondaries here. I would throw in Dublin to begin with, and I would throw in Statesboro after Dublin. They're both sizable towns, the biggest ones you would go through besides Savannah. So, kind of having those midpoint cities on the sign, I would probably like that a little bit more. 3 lines on a sign if you can is awesome. And we will get East Savannah on our minor junctions. So, no complaints here. This makes sense. We get more mileage signs, Swainsboro and Savannah. And I think there should be a middle line for Statesboro here, but they're not going to do it. They do 2 lines on the sign throughout the entire road. So that's fair. And we meet I-95, and we will get 16 east for Savannah. That makes plenty of sense. I mean, what else are you going to sign at this point? And we also meet 516 being signed for Lines Parkway or Lines Parkway, I'm not really sure, and Garden City for westbound. And it seems like the extrusion kind of fell over here, so you really can't see the 516 part. It'd be nice to see though. But since 16 is pretty short and we're not going to be talking about it for long, let's look at 516 really quick. It's pretty interesting. It's signed for Savannah Tech and the Hunter Air Force Base. And Savannah Tech, okay, I mean, I've never heard of it until I made this video. And Hunter Air Force Base, that's probably a little bit more useful, but right here I'd probably sign for Georgetown just because the Veterans Parkway goes to Georgetown, but the Air Force Base is a decent option too. And we get the end, and if you turn right here, you'll go to the Air Force Base, but we don't get an end sign for 516. We just get a begin Duren Avenue, so that's But yeah, I would sign the Air Force Base after signing Georgetown, after the junction with the Veterans Parkway. And we turn around, and we'll get begin 516 North 21, so we're on an interstate now. But now we have a random right turn, so that's pretty odd. At our junction with Veterans Parkway, we will get West 516 to 16, so 16 is kind of our control city here because we just get Lines Parkway. And further along, we get 516 for Lines Parkway and exit 6 for Gwinnett Street to Amtrak Sta. You just couldn't write out the whole sign. I understand that the materials are kind of expensive, but I mean, come on, it's a few $100. Just write out station. Make a bigger sign, write out station. Amtrak Sta. Come on. And we get to the end of 16, or the end of 516, my apologies. And we will be, this is kind of in Garden City, and I think Garden City should be our control city. But you only see Garden City as a control on 16, so that's kind of odd. And we get our junction for the beginning of it now. We'll turn around going back towards I-16, and we get 516, even though it's a little bit faded, to I-16 Lines Parkway. That makes plenty of sense. And we'll meet 16 again, 16 signed for Savannah. So that's, what else are you going to sign considering, I think you're actually in Savannah city limits here, so you could just sign downtown, or Savannah's fine too. And we'll run towards the end of 16. We get 16 ends ahead, and we get the Savannah Civic Center, Montgomery Street, and downtown. So I don't know if that's 3 controls or 4 controls, because maybe it's Savannah referring to downtown and then the Civic Center separately. But I guess downtown is already on there, so it's probably just 3, but still, that's a lot of information on one sign. And then we get MLK Boulevard. So that's a lot smaller of a sign. You probably don't need all that green space. You could have taken that and, built the station instead of Amtrak stop, taking that money. There you go. And we'll dump off into Montgomery Street, and 16 ends. And we get further ahead, and you almost get into this downtown street. So 16 really dumps you off right into the heart of Savannah. So that's kind of cool. And we will get 16 West Macon as we turn around to go towards Macon. And Macon is the correct choice here. And we meet 516 again. We get Lines Parkway and Garden City for westbound, so that makes sense. And we meet 95, and it's signed 16 West for Macon. I can see the argument for Atlanta here, and you definitely could argue Atlanta, but I would definitely sign it for Macon, because it ends in Macon, and Macon is a fairly large city. It's over 100,000 people, so Macon is the choice I would make here. And we get our mileage sign for Pembroke and Macon, so that makes sense. Like I said, I would like those secondaries on there, Statesboro and Dublin, but that's fine. On our minor junctions, we also get Savannah and Macon, to no surprise, so there you go, that's pretty good. More mileage signs, we get Pendleton Creek as our bridge, and we get Georgia routes 15 and 78, and Macon as our bottom line. Or maybe it's not Georgia routes, maybe it's GA routes, because they don't want to capitalize the A. I don't know why states do that. They don't capitalize the second letter because it's an abbreviation that's supposed to be capitalized. I don't know, it's weird. And we get into Macon, and you'll see it kind of in the corner there. And we don't get any control cities for 16, and I don't agree with that at all. I think for westbound now, after Macon, it should absolutely be Atlanta. It angles that way, you'll default that way, so that is definitely the way to go. And here is the best view we can get of Macon. We kind of are at grade, so you don't really see much of the view of downtown Macon, and it's also kind of separated from the downtown, so this is the best view we're going to get. And here's the end of it. We don't get an N16 sign just because we have a lot of construction here, but we will get 75 South Valdosta and 75 North Atlanta. And as you can see by the straight through arrows, that's why I said it should be signed for Atlanta, because the straight through traffic defaults on the 75 North. So that'll wrap up 16, and we'll talk about what was signed. GDOT kept it really simple. East Savannah, West Macon. That's it. I would make a couple additions here. And what would Jeremy do? I would do the same exact thing, use Dublin and Statesboro as secondaries in each direction, and then in Macon I would sign it for Atlanta. And there are some example mileage signs down there for having 3 lines on a sign, because GDOT doesn't seem to be able to do it here. And thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate the viewership. Make sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one. Peace out.